Hello, I'm Dave Wilhelmsen. I'm going to be teaching you an art lesson today using acrylics, but we're going to use acrylics as a watercolor. So we're going to make the acrylics like diluted and as a wash in the painting that I'm going to show you. Basically, we have our things you need is the pencil to sketch the drawing, and then I have my palette here of acrylics, just little dabs of color. I got the flesh color, red, yellow, raw sienna, yellow oxide, blue, like a medium blue, a violet, and white. Okay, so we put that back on the easel. We're going to be doing the washes. I have 3 different brushes. I have a large one here. This is like a number 10, and then I have a number 8 and a number 6. You could use bristle, or you can use your horsehair brushes. I'll show you as we go along, so I hope you enjoy it. We're going to start the lesson. Okay, today's lesson we're going to be doing the scene of the river with the bridge over the river. And as you can see, it's translucent like a watercolor, but it's going to be acrylics used as watercolor. There are different vibrancy in that. And in here there's like little indications of like a ink thing. We're not going to get into that, the real details. We get tight details, but you can see there's mainly blues and purples, and we go into the yellow and green, a lot of warm colors. So this one here is going to be today's lesson, and we'll get into that. Okay, I'm going to be using my large brush, the number 10, and I put it in my water, and I'm going to dab it on my paper towel. Okay, we're going to do a wash here of a light blue. Okay, so what I do is I mix my white and my blue, and I'm going to get like a very washed out blue. Okay, so right in here, the river bottom, if you can see it, I'm putting in a very washed out color on the bottom here. Okay, and what I'm going to be doing is the sky. Up on the very top, I'm going to be doing strokes of this light powder blue. It's a mixture of the white and the blue. Okay, I'm going to blend it now a little more, and then in here. Okay, and then I'm going to do up here, these shrubs have a blue tone to them. We're going to be layering colors. It's very transparent. So I'm going to blot this and blend this a little bit here. Okay, and then on this side over here, I'll be doing that. Okay, so we did the blue. Now I'm going to be mixing like a light yellow. I'm going to take the yellow and white, half and half of the yellow, half of the white, and I'm going to be getting a nice light yellow color on the brush. Same large brush, the number 10 brush. Okay, so what I'm going to be doing here is the trees, all the vegetation, the trees and the grass and the shrubs. I'll be doing this here. And then on this side, the trees on the other side of the river. Okay, this is where the sun hits it. Okay, now we're going to move down to where the grass hill is here, over here, and over here on this grass hill. Okay, so we have that going. And on this paper, I'm using a watercolor paper that's 140 pounds, so it doesn't curl up, and that it's a good weight of 140 pounds watercolor paper. All right, I'm washing out my brush, dabbing it on my paper towel here. Now, still using the large brush, I'm going to make a purple. I have my violet, like a violet purple, and I have white. And I'm going to be using that. So here we go. Okay, see that? Now, I'm going to add some water to it. As I said, we're doing acrylics, but putting water into it to make it like a wash. Okay, so this is where I'm going to take this here And I'm going to use the next brush, the number 8, just adding water to it. And what I do is I blend the light violet, a light purple, into the shrubs here. As with the number 8 brush is going to be done for blending. So I just have that full of water, and here I go. All right, over here. And then there's some purple in the foreground here, blades of grass. And I'm going to use that, I'm going to wash those too. Okay, so it's more like a scrubbing, so it releases. Before it dries too much, you want to get this in there. Okay, so now there's only one last area here, and I'm going to use the little brush here to indicate up in the sky, just where the background, these misty trees back there. We're going to give them a very light tone of that powdery purple. Okay, I'm going to wash that away so it blends into the white. Okay, now the next ones we're going to get into this is going to be green, so I'm going to use the medium brush. Alright, washing out my large brush. We got to keep washing out our brushes so the paint doesn't dry in them. This is acrylics. Or acrylic paints will dry in your brushes quite quickly. So now what I'm going to be doing is yellow, and I have yellow on my palette and a dab of the blue, the light blue, and I'm going to get like a green, a nice green. Okay. Okay. All right, so now I'm adding water to it, getting it like a real liquidy consistency, and up in here I'm doing this nice shade of green, and I'm dashing it with like the leaves of this tree, and I'm going to get it where it's going to be going down to the other tree below it. Okay, now I'm going to do the same over here on this little hill. I'll just give some hints of the green. I'm going to make it a little more green. Add some blue to it. Okay. Just very lightly touching this. Okay. And then over on the other side, I'm going to do the trees, like I said here. Keeping it very fluid and transparent. Get these blades of these leaves, I mean. Okay. And then on the hill here, to the base of the hill, up here on the hill, add a little more blue to it, getting like deeper. I'm going to keep now that these colors are going to be drying very quick on the paper. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to blend this a little bit. Okay, I'm going to keep going over and make the trees. I'm going to darken, getting darker green. So I'm adding half yellow and a little bit of almost half blue to it. I'm going to get a deeper green. So we're going to keep accenting these trees and the grass. Okay. And over here, the grass back in the corner here, maybe down by the water. And then this tree over here. Add a little more blue to that, get it stronger green. I got to keep it watered down because this is a watercolor. Okay. Any of this, we're going to get into much deeper colors underneath the trees. And then down here on the top of the hill, get that, like feather it like some blades of grass. And down here, like this, and then some blades of grass down here. I'm going to get something under the bridge there. I see that there's some shrubs or something growing on the bridge here. Okay, now we're going to leave the green stuff alone, and I'm going to go to this bridge. Okay, so that's going to be interesting. I have like a raw sienna right here. Okay, there we go. Raw sienna. Okay, I'm going to water that down. I'm going to add some white to it. These are like washed out pastels. So most of the colors I'm adding a little bit of white to it. Okay, I'm going to add a little bit of blue because we're going to get a muddy brown there. Okay, and I gotta go dab it on my paper towel there. Here we go. Now, we're going to be using our medium brush again, number 8. We're going over the bridge. You can go under the bridge here. See that? Oh, by the way, this drawing, if you really want to do it the easy way, you could take a screenshot of the finished picture, or if it's sharp enough, the drawing I have at the beginning of the lesson, and do a screenshot and just do a tracing of it. Rub some graphite pencil on the back of the tracing, and you just use that as your template. You can just transfer it to a piece of watercolor paper. It's so easy. So here we go. That's good. Okay, that's the only thing we got there, brown? No, we have the tree trunks over here on the right side. Okay, and here's the other one here. And I'm going to be going with the tree branches up in there. We'll come back to that and darken those. Okay. I'm going to get into this here now, the river. The brown I have, I'm going to add that. I'm going to add some blue to it and a little bit of violet, the purple, and to the brown. Sounds like it's murky. Well, you'll see what we're going to do. I'm going to add some reflection of the bridge in the water there. Okay, I'm taking some of this onto my paper towel and getting some of the water off it. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go under the bridge first of all. Here, the shadow of these parts here under the bridge. Let's see. I could get that a little darker later, but I like laying it on little by little. This way we have control of it. Okay, now we're going to do these reflection. You're going to do streaks. I got to add a little more blue, a little more brown. This way it's a little bit stronger. I'm doing these horizontal reflection streaks. Here we go. Right here, right here, here. Okay, I'm going to wash out. I'm going to have it blended into the okay. There we go. I'm going to lay more color on that. Now I'm going to add more. I'm going to get back into the green. I'm going to add, let's see, some brown into my green and blue. The green that we mixed before, I'm going to make a slightly darker green, yellow, and the blue, and a little bit of the raw sienna. Okay, so now I'm going to be coming up here. Wow, look at how that looks. That's nice and dark. Like a nice rich color. And I'm going to go and scatter these as little bunches of leaves. And down here. Okay. And then on that little hilltop here. And on this one here, I'm going to add some water to it. I got to do that tree over here. Okay, and now down at the bottom here, these blades of grass are getting more and more involved. And then we got to get the shadows of these trees coming down the hill. Just a couple lines here, strokes of this. Okay, and then let's see. At the bottom of the bridge there's little outcroppings of overgrowth. Here we go. Okay, now I want to get back into the purple, blue purple. Okay, I'm going to be doing over here, here, and over here. Okay, so what I'm going to be doing is mixing blue and the violet purple together. Okay, I'm going to mix it and have a good amount of it here on the palette. And just a little dab of white. Okay, and we're going to have a rich color of like a lavender, a bluish lavender. Okay, now I'm going to come up here. I got to wash my other brush, my smallest one. Here, okay, I have this, the number 8 filled with the lavender. Number 6 is I'm going to put in the water because I'm going to use the number 6 for blending. So watch what I'm going to do. Starting on the left side, these shrubs, this is much darker. I'm going to do a side swipe of these. I'm going to come down here. And I'm going to wash this with the little brush, make it damp and watery. And I'm going to do this. Then I'm going to highlight it. This here. Okay, and wash it again. And wash this going into the water. It's going to fade into the water. And I'm going to put some of that in the water. I'm going to do some over here. I'm going to wash this out with a little brush, blend it a little more. I'm going to go down here into the water and do a wash, a very light wash in here, this corner here. And take more water onto the brush so it gets to be a feathered look here. You get the feeling of the true watercolor fluidity and transparency here. All right. Now we're going to work on this side here and maybe a little bit up on the top. I see this color is over here. This is like a, it's like a hazy, foggy background. Okay. Now we're going to go under the bridge here and do just a couple little strokes of purple here. Now I'm going to be doing back here. There's a lot going on back here. Wash that brush out, the medium brush, and then I'm going to wash this. Wash this and wash that. Okay, now we're going to do down here. Just these ones here are going to be blades of tall grass in the foreground. Here we go. I'm going to leave those like that. We don't have to blend. Now we're going to do this, a man on the horse. Man with a wagon with a horse up here. He's faded out. And he's going to go right here. I use my medium brush, but believe me, it has such a fine point on it. I can cut in and get what I want, the details. There's the 2 wheels. Here's the horse. It's sort of faded out. Okay. All right. There he is. Now I'm going to get a little more detail on that bridge. I'm going to add a little brown into this mixture of the purple that I just had. Just a little bit of raw sienna. Okay, and we're going to go like this. Stroking the bridge with some fine lines going across and a little bit of the masonry lines that outline these arches where the river flows through under the bridge. Okay, and then I'm going to put some of this under the arches here, a darker shadow. Okay, cutting in here. Put some lines there. Okay, and how about this little bridge here, this railing? Outline that. And outline this railing here so you can see it. Okay, finish the railing over here. Okay, now we're going to get into the deeper colors. Since I have some of that brown and I have a light yellow oxide here, I got to add white too. So the yellow oxide and white, half and half. Going to wash it out, make a light brown, like a yellowish brown. And I'm going to try to do that on this part of the bridge that the light shines on. Oh, I need more white. Yeah. Nice thing about the acrylic white, instead of just like a watercolor, it gives you this definition. It's more opaque and it covers really well. So I'm doing that. Get some sparks of sunlight on the bridge, you know. Okay. And now we're going to add more deep blue, darker blue. So I'm going to use half of my blue and half of my violet, the purple. And I'm going to get a real rich deep color, but I'm still adding water to it to keep it transparent. So this is going to be in this area here, right here. Okay, so what I'm doing here, this is really what pulls it together. And being acrylic, I'm getting these rich colors. Now I have my medium brush ready, which is going to be damp, so I can blend here a little bit. See how it picks up or mixes blends the colors in between the dark and the lighter one. Okay, then I have over here, I'm going to do it down here. Oh, I got a fisherman in here too, but let me just finish this part and I'll show you. I'm going to go with the damp brush, the little medium brush. Now, I have this with my small brush here. I'm blending with this here. And here's the fisherman. He's standing up there. And he has the rod. And he's going there. Okay? And then right around that, where he puts the rod into the water, the fisher line into the water, there's strokes of water around it. Okay? Make him a little darker there so he stands out. Okay, now under the bridge, I want to bring that depth in there. Okay, now over here we're going to do the dark color. And we're almost getting to that finishing point. Okay. I'm going to be using my medium brush. Medium and the small one. The medium one's going to have the paint. The little one, I got to wash out. The small one, I want to just have that as blending. Okay, that's going to be wet. Okay, the small one's going to be wet, the medium one's going to have the color on it, and the little one's going to have water on it. Okay, so up in here, going along the tree trunk here, cut in where these tree branches are. mix a little bit each section before it sets in. All right. Cutting in around here. This defines the tree trunks more. There we go, and up here. And over here. And I'm going to wash that a little bit, blend it just a little bit with my small brush. And now the foreground here, where these are, I'm going to put blades in, okay. I'm going to put some yellow, and mix in red. Yellow and red for this next one here. Now I'm going to use my little brush that's damp with clear water on it. And I'm going to be going like that. Okay, and then some straight purple and blue together is going to be going in here. Dabbing, I like to have that where the leaves are in here and some more detail there. And over here, okay, and down in here, we're going to just put some more, a greenish blue, and we're going to be looking at, okay, we got our green over here still. I'm going to add some more blue to it. Blue, 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 a very blue, 2/3 blue into that existing green. So what I'm going to do here is that, here we go, just on the very bottom parts of these trees here. And how about in here? There's some little birds around here and butterflies I'm going to be finishing, and that's going to be the last part of it. Okay. Now there's that, the tree trunks here are dark on one side, so I have brown, like a deep brown. And then I'm going to get into these and get this, some green in here, these blades, a few of them. I'm going to add purple in here again on these little blades here. Okay, so now there's a couple little birds. I have a bird up in the sky here. I'm going to show you. I'm going to use my small brush. There's one up here, a couple butterflies down here. And what I'm going to do is just make it like I have a pink color, flesh color, and a little bit of red. So here he goes. This is going to be filled in with my small brush. The original had a purple one, but it seems to be a good balance with this color for this painting. Okay, and I got these here. Alright, there's the, it's like a hummingbird. Now there's these little butterflies. Okay. Here's another one. And it's a bird right here. Yeah. Okay. I think just a couple more details here. I'm mixing blue and the purple, so I'm going to have getting some of the tree trunk there with the bark. And then under here again, under the ridge, Just that deep shadow under the bridge. Okay, I think we're just about there. I want to do a few more details in the water. And on this, I'm going to make a really dark green with blue and blue and yellow, but there's mainly blue in it. Okay, and here we go. And I'm keeping it more like a dry brush. I'm not going to blend this. Okay, so you see. Okay, I think we are finished now. And there's your bridge over the river painting.